Republican candidate for Virginia's 8th Congressional District, retired Colonel Patrick Murray. Colonel Murray, it is hard for me to hold back my anger. I have to admit it. I can't imagine what you felt when you first heard it. Tell us.
Well, David, thank you. It's great to be on tonight. Listen, this isn't about me. This is about all of the veterans, the service members, the active duty service members who are serving in harm's way overseas. It's about their family members. Imagine a family member who has lost a service member, a soldier, in support, in defense of their country, to find out from a sitting congressman that that's not public service and that they were just drawing a paycheck. And moreover, David, this is a congressman who has what I believe to be the most hallowed ground in America, and I'm talking about Arlington National Cemetery right in his district.
Right, absolutely. Now, has he called you to try to apologize directly for that comment?
Well, no, he hasn't, David, and if he intends to, I think his flash-to-bang times run a little bit long. What he said is, well, I was misquoted, I was taken out of context. Well, it's their tape. We just pulled it off their website. So I think there's a pattern here. It's not just the comments about me. There's a pattern when it goes back to how he votes to support our troops in Afghanistan, which he votes not to support them in Afghanistan, and a number of other things that is it's just part and parcel of how you articulated it earlier, that there's an arrogance of office, and he is a career politician who has lost touch with what's happening in his district and in the United States.
All right. Now, he has issued, or his people have issued a sort of statement, not necessarily a retraction of what he said, but he talked about how supportive he is of the military, and then he said this: the point Congressman Moran was making in that Northern Virginia is a region that prides itself on local civic engagement, serving in the PTA, on local boards, working with nonprofits to help those less fortunate, and also serving in local elected office. Well, to which I would say, what the hell is a military guy except somebody who's serving in a nonprofit, trying to help others who can't help themselves? What the heck do you think our guys over in Afghanistan are doing? I mean, again, it's hard for me to contain my anger here, and I don't direct it at you specifically, but if that's his only response, that's not a response.
I agree with you, and I honor the public service, the community service of everyone whom you just talked about, PTA and everyone else. It's important, it matters, but I will not apologize for my military service. It was the great honor of my life to serve my country for 24 years in the Army in uniform, and I'm proud of that. And I believe that Jim Moran needs to take a look at what he's saying with regard to soldiers and all service members who are serving their country.
And, you know, look, I admire the PTA. I've served in a PTA before. I admire these local boards and the service that community workers do. But don't you think their service is at least on level? I mean, I would put the military service above that, but I certainly wouldn't put it below that.
Well, I think that's a good point. And listen, there are a lot of other reasons, David, why I believe people are ready to look elsewhere for their representative. And it's not just these comments. Recently, we need some certainty. We need to put the ground beneath small businesses' feet, back beneath their feet, so that we can start to grow our economy, hire people, and expand. Jim Moran is openly telling us he's not going to do anything differently. Small Business Entrepreneurial Council gave him a 0, David, 22 votes. They assess every congressman on. He got everyone wrong. Now, I don't know how you do that unless you're anti-business. And that's what is also a concern for I think, the Jim Moran camp this year.
Well, by the way, are those issues, are the dollar and cents issues the ones that are most important to voters right now, or did those comments we showed you earlier have the bigger impact?
I think we've had a large wave of outpouring of support for our campaign, and a little bit of concern, for a lot of concern about what he said. But the backdraft to all of the rest of the things are, where is our economy, where are our jobs, and how is it that Jim Moran can raise taxes and spend money for 20 years I mean, the debt was about $3 trillion when he came in. Look where it is now. It's over $13 trillion. He has no concerns with that. He's happy with that. He's happy with his earmarks. He's proud of his earmarks. And if he is reelected, he will continue to do the exact same thing, as well as his perspective on the military.
By the way, it's our position here at Scoreboard that we need term limits, that once anybody's in power too long, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they get this kind of arrogance of power. Are you a term limiter?
Amen, brother. I believe that the Founding Fathers had no concept for anyone, regardless of party, to serve their entire life as a congressman. I think inevitably, and Jim Moran is a walking, talking, or I should say screaming advertisement for term limits, because he has lost touch. He will say and do just about anything in order to get reelected, and what we need are people of character, some leadership and integrity who are willing to work across the aisle to find solutions for the American public instead of figuring out how to get reelected.
All right. By the way, how many terms, we got to run, but how many terms are you going to limit yourself to if you're elected?
David, I would like to just 5 terms, I think, is the maximum, but I'm not looking at how many terms I'm going to serve. I'm happy to serve this constituency for 1 term, if that's what it takes to start to balance the budget and get us back going. Please have your viewers go to www.murrayforcongress.com, and we would appreciate your support in these last 96 hours.
Colonel Patrick Murray, thank you very much. We'd invite Congressman Moran on if he wants to come on, but he's got a lot of answering to do here. And thank you for your service to the country, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David.